care. I'm gonna fucking just say it.
I love a fillet of fish.
Ja Rule is underrated. I don't care what anyone says.
You can't say that.
Mate, a cold Milo is better than any coffee.
Did you use my toothbrush?
I don't have to say allegedly. These are old crimes.
As soon as you see a hole in your jocks, just throw it away.
Everyone pisses in the shower, I'm telling you.
You better not get us kicked off here.
Mate, what the fuck do I know about Ecuador?
I'll just chuck a sickie.
I don't know what the currency is.
It's not my fault she's a fucking idiot.
Foghorn Leghorn. Like from the Looney Tunes.
What do you think's better, a dim sim or a potato cake?
Oh man, this isn't gonna work, I'm telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the Mel and Jake Show. We are back. We are back. Now, if you see a few little cuts and sort of pauses within this video, please understand it is not a ghost in the machine, pun intended. I am pretty sick, and I'll be going into coughing fits and wheezing like an elderly man occasionally.
Sweating.
I am sweating.
Balls.
Sweating.
He just had to have a shower because he was so hot.
Yeah, I'm freaking out. I'm boiling. But we are here for you, rain, hail, sleet or snow, the Mel and Jake Show. Forever. I am one half of the podcast duo. I am Mr. Jacob, and to my right, we have the beautiful, the effervescent Melissa. Melissa, how are you?
Good.
Now, I have a bit of an easy question for you, a softball one right off the bat. What do you think happens when we die?
That's a fucking loaded question.
Come on, mate.
I don't know.
I remember once you talking about your dream, if you ran the universe, is that whenever one of your pets died, it would respawn at your house again, but just as a baby pup.
That would be the best.
I think
that
that's
would be the best.
a really nice reality.
But for where we go, I have no idea. I just don't even, I like to think that there's a heaven, but I don't know.
Imagine there's no heaven. I can't remember the rest of that. That is, imagine all the
I was just staring over there thinking, what's the next part of that song? And it just didn't come.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you would know by now, today's topic is ghost stories and paranormal activity. And to be completely honest, we got sent a fucking shit ton of stories from people out there. And
we thank you.
We absolutely thank you.
We just can't read them all.
The main theme seems to be sleep paralysis is one of them. And for those that don't know, that is essentially when you're asleep and sort of in a semi-asleep awake sort of a form, and your eyes are open from what I'm understanding, and you see visions of a dark figure at the end of your bed.
And you can't move.
You can't move. And then all of a sudden you sort of break through. Some people can break free and end up moving. A mate of mine, when he was a kid, he was playing Mortal Kombat all the time, and he had a sleep paralysis dream where Sub-Zero appeared at the end of his bed. Better than Scorpion. Get over here! But yes, it's going to be fun. I think this is going to be fun. Melissa, have you ever had any paranormal things happen to you, maybe even pertaining to a pet?
What?
A pet.
What do you mean? It's like you're hinting at something.
Your mum's cat.
Ah! But that's not paranormal activity. I told you before.
I think it's freaky. Tell him.
Okay, so when I was born, I think this is a cat thing, yeah? I think that cats are just really jealous. So my mum had this cat, and when I was born...
Wait. A caveat. This cat loved your mum. Loved her like nothing else, and would sit on her shoulder like a parrot sits on a pirate.
Yeah, I've got photos of her in the backyard with the cat sitting on her shoulder.
And she's
just
doing
walk
those
around.
like 80s like star shot photography.
No, she's not.
The cat?
Anyway, then she... then when I was born, she just was like... and just didn't want to go near me.
Didn't like you.
And she fucking tried to kill me.
When my sweet little brown potato here was asleep in the cot as a little baby, this sneaky, shifty bastard cat crawled onto her face, belly first, and tried to smother her in the cot. And then your mum ran over and gave the cat a fucking whack. And
then they ran away
and never came back. What colour was that cat?
I don't fucking know. I was a baby. I was a newborn.
From the images, I remember it being black.
Oh, I didn't take that much interest.
Which begs the question, how come when you put your hairy black pussy on my face that I'm allowed to be smothered?
That's disgusting.
Yes. You know, back in my life as a single man, I went on many dates, and I think at one point I actually perfected the date. And part of that perfecting of the date is a 3-part system that I used to like to call the zoo and boo, right? I would start off at the zoo, take my date to the zoo, then we'd go out for a quick bite to eat, and then I would take them on a ghost tour. So there was a number of reasons for this. First and foremost, I found the idea of sitting across for someone for a dinner super boring. Imagine just sitting there like someone you've never met before and just being like, so your office is in between two stations. What's that like? How do you choose where you want to get off? That sounds boring as shit to me. I would rather walk around and look at foreign animals that you can't see anywhere else. No one else can say that they've seen a zebra on a date unless they've gone out with me. And that's the way I like it. After that, after the zoo... before I go on, I should say the zoo is... Well, it's one thing for me because I love the zoo and I would go to the zoo regardless, and I always used to go to the zoo. But more than that, it was my way of seeing how compassionate this person was. If this is someone that didn't really pay the animals much mind, that was a red flag for me straight away. I want someone who's like, you know, whose empathy is melting out of their face. That's what I want to see on a date. So, we would go from the zoo, we would scurry along, and we'd go out for dinner, something quick and easy, maybe in Fitzroy, somewhere around there. And then, at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I can't remember the time, we'd go to the haunted bookshop. I think it was in Collins Street. I think. I do remember the guy that was running the tours there. He used to walk around with a cape and like a top hat and a cane. And he would be running the tours. And he would take you all through Melbourne, all different parts of Melbourne, and, you know, tell you about haunted areas. One particular place was the QV building, and while it was being constructed, there was actually a massive gap, sort of like maybe a 30-meter void, 3 stories up that you could look down, you know, a big sheer drop-off there, and 6 of the security guards that were working in that area quit. Because this place is a former hospital, and all the security guards managed to see an old nurse holding the hand of a little girl walking out into the abyss.
Ugh, disgusting.
I reckon that's so cool.
That's gross.
Anyway, the grand finale of this tour, the piece de resistance, the ruby in the crown, is rocking up to this place called Cobb & Co. Now, some of you might know that as like a caravan park thing, and that's got to do with the gold rush days. So apparently, this particular place was a place where gold was weighed, and someone, I think, caught their wife cheating and murdered their wife and children in that particular little gold weighing area. But when you walk in there, you have no idea that you are somewhere. The tour is just taking you, and it's kind of like you're on your way somewhere. This isn't the actual destination. But once you duck your head under this roller door into this area where this grisly crime is committed, I shit you not, the fear and the doom, the sense of doom, is palpable. I'm not someone that's ever been into ghosts or, you know, a real believer of that sort of thing. But the second we walked underneath that roller door, I felt it in my stomach. It was horrendous. And everyone around me, I'm looking at them, they're all just like, you know, they looked really, like, sickly. And the tour guide said, if you're feeling uneasy right now, you're not alone. I've had people that have come into this space and vomited the second that they got in here. And it was rated one of the most 100 haunted places on Earth.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a crazy experience, man. That feeling in the pit of your stomach, I can't describe what it would be like. I reckon it'd be like if you were getting sentenced to jail for like 20 years and you're just awaiting that guilty or not guilty. That's that tight, horrible feeling that you're feeling in your guts. Wow. It's palpable and it's real. I've got no other way to explain it. But yes, that was my move. And my thinking behind finishing off the date with that is going out and showing the lady that I can be your protector. I can be here on your side. If ghosts come, who are you going to call? Jacob! And that was my whole thinking behind it, you know?
So, just a couple things. Actually, 3.
3?
Any fruitful, was this a fruitful venture for you?
I don't want to be crude, right? But there was one woman who owned a hairdressing salon.
Yeah.
And after we went to the ghost tour, I shagged her on the chair in the dressing salon in full view of the road on Lygon Street.
Nice. Number 2 is when we were first talking within that first year, I reckon, you were trying to get me to go to the zoo.
Yeah, but that's because I thought you blended in with the gorillas.
And also, if you were looking for compassion, no wonder you married me because
you were a vegan.
I refused to go to the zoo with you.
Because she was a vegan.
And I loved you so much and I wouldn't go.
I love that. I love that. But we are, you got to admit, we are avid zoo goers since then.
Well, we got kids. I mean, even before kids, we used to go to the zoo all the time, remember?
Yeah.
It's like a pair of lamos.
We fucking live at the zoo. Anyway, few and far between. That's my first story over, but wait for the second story, because I promise you the second story is epic, and it involves ghost hunters. Ghost hunters. Legit ghost hunters that I met and spent copious amounts of time with. Too much time.
Yeah, I remember when you were doing that.
Yes, there was almost an affair, but we'll get to that. Okay. All right, Melissa, can you bless us, please, with stories from the DMs?
All right, so I was about 15 or 16 when my family moved to Maribyrnong, not far from the river. The week we moved in, Arsenal was playing Manchester United. We didn't have cable connected yet, so we went to my brother's place in Sunshine to watch the match.
Okay, that makes sense.
Arsenal got... This better have something to do with it. Arsenal got absolutely smashed.
All right. This better be the ghost of Arsene Wenger, like, arguing with fucking Henri or something.
We were driving home late, around 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, heading down Ballarat Road. What made it strange straight away was how quiet it was. No cars at all. Anyone who knows that road knows that's almost impossible, especially back then before the tunnel and CityLink were finished.
Absolutely. Ballarat Road is a fucking dive of a piece of asphalt. I reckon third in worst pieces of asphalt in Victoria, behind Bell Street and Punt Road, a.k.a. Cunt Road.
Blah, blah, blah. As we turned onto Military Road near the corner of Rossman Road, there was a paddock on one side. At the junction, I saw a white, misty figure walking across the road. I didn't think much at first and just kept watching it out of the window.
Might have been Macaulay Culkin.
What?
He's super white, pasty.
All right. But by the time we reached the intersection, the figure was no longer on the road. It was suddenly standing in the paddock. Then without warning, it moved straight in front of our car and we drove straight through it.
Yeah, that would be strange.
Oh my goodness. I looked at my brother. He was white as a sheet. I kept asking him what it was, but he just kept telling me to shut up.
Really dealing with his emotions.
Shut up!
Sounds like part of your family. That's how your family would deal with seeing a ghost. Mum, Dad, did you see that thing hovering? Melissa, shut up! Why are you going to say this when Mum is making empanadas? She'll ruin every event with your crazy ghost talking. Unbelievable.
A few days later, while he was driving me to soccer training, he finally said it. He told me he believed it was a ghost, and he didn't want to say anything at the time because he'd heard that if they know that you've seen them, they follow you. I didn't know that.
I don't know if I believe that. That sounds like the sort of little bullshit thing that you say as a kid that like grows legs. You know, like Marilyn Manson took his ribs out to suck his own cock.
In a seance, they say that if you do a seance and if you do see a ghost and it gets out of the cup, that it follows you around.
Did you ever do seances?
Fucking oath I did.
Did you really?
Yeah, but they weren't real. Like they didn't really work.
I never messed with the occult like that as a kid. I reckon I was silly enough to make fun of it at times, like especially once I went out to an insane asylum with my mate and these ghost hunters. This is a small sidebar. And I lied down on an operating table that had been there from like the 17 or 1800s, and I started screaming for the devil to possess my body. And my mate is just like, nah, man, Jakes, don't fuck around like that. Jakes, nah, fucking what the fuck you doing? Nah.
Yeah.
He was scared that in the car I was going to flip and kill him.
Well, yeah. I don't know how much I believe in all this stuff, but I tell you that I'm not going to fuck with that. Like, I watched Candyman when I was young, and I would never say Candyman 5 times in the mirror. Ever. ever. Or what's the other one? Bloody Mary? Look.
Bloody Mary, I do remember that.
Disgusting.
Man, speaking of that, the 80s really was the prime time for horror movies. Ghosts, everything. Ghostbusters, the movie Ghost.
Yeah.
With,
And I don't know if this was a thing of the 80s, but my parents used to let me watch anything I wanted. I remember sitting in the lounge room as a family and being really awkward because there were sex scenes on.
Yeah.
But I used to watch scary movies, and Mum reckons that I was little, like a little toddler, and I used to always run to the horror section, and I used to sit on the couch and just like this and have like sweaty palms.
That's crazy. We had haunted everything back then. We had Pet Cemetery, haunted pets. We had Christine, haunted car.
Yeah.
We had The Exorcist, religious haunting.
Freddy
Fucking Krueger. He was the best, man. I used to have a Freddy Krueger poster on my wall, and I used to have dreams every now and then that he would attack the bad guys that were coming for me. I had Freddy working for me.
That's not realistic. Continue.
All right, story number 2. I worked at daycare that had been converted from an old church. There was a little girl ghost, and one of the kids could see her. Well, really, just flopped it out, huh? The little girl ghost. He'd often stand in the playground talking to trees, but he wasn't talking to trees, he was talking to her. Staff regularly saw black figures. One day, while washing my hands in the staff toilet, I saw a ghost playing peekaboo with me in the mirror.
Holy shit.
Doors would slam aggressively on their own. Once, while locking up, staff heard a little girl laughing. Nothing ever happened in the 0 to 3 area. It was always the 3 to 5 side, the original church building. Yeah, that would fuck with you. Bad.
I swear to you, if I ever saw our daughters talking to no one, I think that's the most freakiest thing that would ever happen to me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not the most, but it's up there.
What if...
Been one of my fears.
What if...
And if she's like, 1, 2, 3, coming for you.
You know, it'd be the worst.
And imagine if I didn't teach her that song. That would be so scary.
The worst thing would be having both your kids just sitting in the corner and just going... I hate the theme song from MASH.
All right.
Story number 3.
I once had a dream that my fiancé died. In the dream, my friend came to stay with me for a week. We went out, distracted ourselves, and tried to cope.
So in his dream, the fiancé dies, and he's gone through the whole grieving process in the actual dream. Okay.
At one point, I was drunk in her bathroom while she helped me shave. I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I can't believe Callie's dead. I woke up straight after and told her about the dream. Then, years later, it all happened exactly like that. Every detail. I'd literally seen the future. It broke me and scarred me more than anything ever has. That
would fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because at that point on, every single dream you had that was negative, you'd think it's a premonition.
Exactly.
Oh no, my fucking engine light's coming on. My car's going to seize. I can feel it.
Okay. That is not in the realm of what we're talking about.
Well, bad things.
Okay. Well, we're very sorry. That is horrible.
Yeah, that is fucking horrible. I didn't even think about the emotion of that. Very, very sorry. Not mean to make light of your situation. Okay. When I was 15, my dad and I stayed at my uncle and auntie's interstate during school holidays. Hold on. When I was 15, my dad and I stayed at my uncle and auntie's place interstate during school holidays. Bang. The house was being renovated, so my bed was set up in the formal dining room right near the doorway to the lounge. Late one night, I heard footsteps in the lounge, and I assumed it was my auntie and went to check. No one was there. It happened again and again. Each time I opened the door, the room was empty. Eventually, I went back to bed, shaken. About 15 minutes later, something leaned close to my ear and whispered, "You're going to die." Yuck. Yuck. I felt its breath. I pulled the covers over my head and didn't move until morning. 13 years later, I still sleep with my ears covered so nothing can whisper to me again. You better look out for that, brother, because you can't also hear the smoke detector. If you burn to death, that's a problem. Don't sleep with blocked ears.
You can't cover it that much. Like if I went like this, I can still hear you.
The smoke, yeah, and you'll smell it. You'll start choking on it.
Oh, this one actually is similar to what happened to you, kind of. So, years ago, I went on a Melbourne ghost tour. At the final location, the guide told us to stand still. The moment we walked in, I told my brother I felt like we were being watched and asked why it smelled like a wet horse. The guide then explained the building had once been the last stop for Cobb
This
and
is
Co.
it. This is the same thing I did.
Yeah,
this is exactly it.
During the
How
gold rush.
fucking crazy is this? I haven't told that story anywhere, and this guy coughed up the same thing.
Yeah.
That's how fucking buzzed out this place was. You'll never... and it's been knocked down since. I think it's
Why?
become apartments or something.
Wouldn't it have been a heritage listed?
No, this place is haunted. Fucking no way.
The manager lived upstairs, and after discovering an affair between his wife and a worker, he murdered everyone inside. Wow. Okay, so that's like exactly what happened to you.
Exactly.
Not exactly, but you know that feeling of you said that you felt sick.
Yeah, I felt sick. I've never felt anything like that before in my life, and I'm not one of these, people that's so into it that I'm hoping for it to happen. This happened against my will, which was freaky as.
Yeah. Okay.
Melissa, can you please give us your 6 supernatural rules?
Rule number 1, never invite anything to show itself. Curiosity is basically an open door.
100% correct. Remember that time when you told me? Remember when you told me you hadn't shaved your pubes in ages, and then you just went like this, and it looked like a little, like fucking Mr. Miyagi's beard was hanging out. Anyway,
I'm laughing because it's true.
it is true. Could have platted that fucking goatee. But no, this is serious. Never invite anything to show itself. Curiosity is basically an open door.
That's what you did at the thing when you were like telling the demons to come to you.
Yeah, but I was doing that in jest. I didn't really want that to happen. However, when I went, you'll hear it in the next story. This is what the whole next story is about, basically, my next story time.
All right, rule number 2. If you see or hear anything strange, don't acknowledge it out loud. Being noticed is how things escalate.
That's a tough one, because I think your first, defense mechanism, if, there's something creepy or if you hear noises in the house, I could totally see you going, who's there?
No, I would be like this.
Really?
I don't think I'll be able to speak.
You know what the trick is? You got to put on your most junky sounding voice. What kind of fucking dog's in my joint? Fucking wreck ya!
Fuck you, cunt. Who the fuck is that?
You better not have your fucking shoes on, mate. My missus just fucking mopped this fucking cunt of a joint.
Rule number 3. If a place suddenly feels wrong for no logical reason, leave immediately. And don't talk yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. Can you think of any other sort of scenarios like that?
Oh, like what we were talking about the other day when you were saying that the people that tend to get, people that are in dangerous situations.
Yeah. How many people end up dying because they were being too polite to say, I don't like this, or I'm sorry, this is uncomfortable. Yeah. People are dropping dead out of niceties. If you feel something fucked up in your guts, move.
Yeah.
Hit the road.
Yeah. Rule number 4. Most encounters happen when you're exhausted, grieving, or impaired. Protect your sleep and your headspace. That's kind of like saying you're making it up, though. But maybe that's when that opens the portal. Have access to you.
Yeah, when you're in states of delirium. It's like when people take ayahuasca and all these sorts of things, DMT, true. They're in a different space of mind and they end up seeing all sorts of shit.
Maybe it's like a parallel universe.
Could be the gateway. Yeah. And you know what the ultimate parallel to that is? Fire. Fire. Because you think of something. Fire doesn't exist. It's not out and about there until you create it. There's a complete other realm, and you can create something that fucking can warm everything. Fire is unbelievable. It's the greatest invention of all time, and it's unseeable. It's fucking invisible until you create it.
Yeah, true.
True.
This next one is should have been number 1 rule. Rule number 5, animals and kids notice things first. If they're reacting to something, make sure you pay attention. Yeah,
completely agree. I remember going to see The Sixth Sense when I was about 20 years old, and I was so stoned, I just didn't know what happened. I didn't realise what it was about. I didn't realise Bruce Willis was dead. I just remember just being in the car on the way back home, just going to my mates, hey, how come every cunt was fucked? That was weird.
And the sixth and final rule is you don't need proof for it to be real. If it changed you, it counted.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know, when I was young, I cared not for faith. I didn't care about faith. I was very anti-religious, so much so that I was combative. You know, Jehovah's would come to the house and I would fucking argue these people for an hour. And, like, legitimately. And, yeah, I've just been, I don't know, ever since our kids were born, I'm just more open to the fact that there is real magic in the world. That's what happened. I became so bitter with the fact that there was no magic. Easter Bunny exist? No. Santa Claus? No. Tooth Fairy? No. Loch Ness Monster? No. But seeing how perfect kids are and the beauty of life, I don't know. To me, I'm a believer.
That's what we should do one day. I don't know if you've got many stories, though, about religious...
I've got one major one.
I know you've got that one. Yeah, so we should do that as well. One with, like, freaky religious experiences.
I need everybody to come down here, and I want all of you to contribute with your freaky religious experiences. I need you to come. When you see Pastor Jacob, Pastor Jacob wants to hear your experiences. He needs to know what you're talking about. So come on then. Share the spirit.
Oh my goodness. Can you do every single fucking voice?
No. Terrible with some. And before we leave this, let me just say something. And it's not as upbeat and happy. It's a little bit somber, but I think it's relevant. My mum has dementia. Really, really bad. She was first diagnosed 4 or 5 years ago. She's got vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and her decline has been horrendous. It's just been watching and grieving for 4 years and watching every piece of her being stripped away to nothing. And obviously it takes a toll. It takes a really big toll on you. And a few months ago, I had a dream where my mum come up to me in my dream and she said, I know I can't talk to you now, but you can always talk to me in your dreams. Aww. So maybe look and see if you can, open up any connections in your dreams next time. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next story.
No, that's it. It's your story. It's your turn.
It's my story. Get ready. This is Ghost Hunters, Affairs, Ghost Attacks, and Teddy Bear Biscuits. This is a weird one. Brace yourself. So, believe it or not, a mate of mine actually purchased an abandoned mental asylum in country Victoria. I can't say where in country Victoria. People in this town will 100% know I'm fucking talking about it. But because it's a little bit of weird stuff with a couple involved, I'll keep it under my hat. So, my mate, he bought this place, and it was a real fixer-upper, as most abandoned mental asylums are. It was pretty creepy. There was places in there. There was a children's diphtheria ward. There was a children's ward that had all pictures of, like, bunnies and teddy bears that were painted on the walls that had rotted off.
Jesus.
There was even isolation containment tanks where they put people who were losing their fucking marbles back in the day, and they just locked them in there.
Wow.
And all the walls are concrete, so they can't do shit. And all over the ceiling and all over the walls were fingernail scratchings. People were scratching the fucking concrete out of the walls to get out of this place.
Christ.
Anyway, the thought behind my mate buying this place is that he was going to get a bunch of ghost hunters in there to run ghost tours, and this was going to be a lucrative business for him. So, being very interested in this sort of stuff, and a bit of a content creator back in the day with my good mate Ivan, we decided to trek down there and meet these ghost hunters and get a bit of an idea about what they do. So we got down there, and it was very strange right from the start. They were like a very Australian country couple, not to be too crude, but they looked like the sort of people that had lived in a caravan park their entire life, right? And it was very strange because right off the bat, I got a sense that this guy was full of shit. Because I'm like, oh, so tell me about, the ghosts and everything. He's like, yeah, it can get crazy. Hey, a ghost attacked my wife a couple nights ago. I'm like, a ghost attacked your wife? And he's like, yeah, cut her up bad. And I'm standing next to his wife. I'm like, seriously? And then he jumps on his phone and he starts swiping across. And I swear, there's 3 little red lines on here that look like she slept on a crinkled sheet. That's what it was. I'm telling you, that's what it was, right? So right off the bat, I'm just like, this is strange. Anyway, we follow this guy around my mate's mental asylum, and it was pretty trippy. We were going into the kids' wards, and he had all these contraptions that would light up and everything, and It was very interesting, and they told us that they were going with a group of other ghost hunters in about 3 weeks to Warrnambool, and there's like a maritime sort of museum place down there that apparently has some ghosts in it. So we decided to tag along. And we get down there and it's about midnight. And it was a very strange setup at the start. All the ghost hunters were sort of in this little coffee and tea room before they went in there. And even though they were friends, they didn't seem to like each other. And they were sort of bickering, like literally to the point of, hey, how many teddy bear biscuits have you had? Because I've only had 4 and we brought 12. Oh, well, Marnie brought a cupcake. Did you have a cupcake? That's what the bickering was about.
What?
So anyway, my mate and I, we are starting to scoff at what is going on. We've gone around to a few places. There was a couple creepy moments in my mate's mental asylum, but so far at this place, there was nothing. Until we walked into an old schoolroom. A schoolroom for like the 1800s or whatever. And before you go into any room, all the ghost hunters make sure you take out all your electrical equipment. Like you turn your phones off, everything. They turn off their walkie-talkies that they use to talk amongst each other, so it doesn't interrupt the signals on like one of their, whatever, signal captured sound devices. They try and record ghosts talking. Anyway, we go in there, everything's turned off, and the lead ghost hunter, he's walking around, and he's just going, is anyone in here? Is anyone in here? Is there any children in here? Any naughty children in here? And it was eerily silent, and we're trying to make zero noise, right? And we're completely quiet, and he goes, if there was a naughty kid in here, he would probably want to do something naughty. The second he did that, the fucking walkie-talkies turned on by himself and just blared static as loud as it could fucking possibly go.
Oh my God.
Me and my man Ivche, we jumped up and we fucking walked out of that joint like junkies looking for their morning fix, man. We were like hightailing it like this, and we're going, man, that was weird, man. Was that weird for you, man? That was fucked up. I've never seen anything like that. I'm not saying there's a ghost, man, but that was kind of fucked up. Yeah, that was fucked up, man. I'm not going back in there. No, why would you go back in there? We feel good anyway, man. That's what we were doing. That's what we were doing. It was so fucking bizarre. Anyway, we went through that, and then after that, we went to this church area, and we're all sitting in there, and he's got his little contraptions going. And then all of a sudden, we hear like a pink, 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 pink noise, like this, like, you know, the sound of something making fucking pinging noises. And we're like, what the fuck is that? You know, we're all sitting here dead quiet. And, you know, later when we went back to sort of debrief, the head ghost hunter guy with the wife that I was sort of dealing with, he's like, yeah, did you see that ghost in the church? That was pretty crazy. He made a lot of noise. And then I was talking to my mate, and he's like, I saw that guy throw a rock. I saw him throw a rock.
Oh, kidding.
And I'm just like, And I'm listening to this ghost hunter keep going, and he just kept hamming it up too much. It was unbelievable. He's just like, yeah, like after the thing pinged off the wall, whatever that sound was, I felt like a burning in the back of my head. Really, really bad. Can you feel that? And he's trying to get everyone to touch his head and shit like that. What? And I'm like, this dude's fucked up. Anyway, long story short, we end that sort of discussion. We end that chapter of our lives. And we end up going to another place. I think it might have been out in Ararat, where I was doing that whole, you know, trying to summon the devil into my body. And we didn't really stumble across anything. We had a few weird moments, but that high school, or that primary school moment was fucking bonkers. But then after all that, I get a text message from this ghost hunter's wife, and she's like, "Hey, just wondering if you want to go for ice creams." And I'm like, "Fucking ice cream?" I just, ice cream. And she's like, "Yeah, I like ice cream." And that was it. And I'm just like, all right. And then I waited, and about 2 hours later, she just sends me a list. Boysenberry, mint, fucking every ice cream that she likes. And I'm just like, don't you have a husband? And then she's like, well, friends can go out for ice cream.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were together then, too.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, we would have been.
Were we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, either way, I didn't make love to the ice cream lady. Even though she was built like a Mr. Whippy Cone. It was very, very fucking strange, but hanging out with those ghost hunters was bizarre. But I do understand that as a hobby. I've got a cousin that is really into the same thing, and I can see that being a real cool hobby. But fucking these people, when you're a true believer to that extent, and you start manipulating reality to get reactions,
yeah,
you end up turning people off.
Yeah. And I feel like when you believe, it is exciting to go out and, especially when you get that thing where you get those headphones and they're...
Oh, yeah.
That's walkie-talkie. Yeah. And it's just like a nice thing to go out into different country towns and... Visit, you know?
Go and get a pie or a nice award-winning vanilla slice, as every country town claims to have.
Yeah.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's episode. Thank you very, very much for putting up with us. I hope you had a bit of a chuckle. And I hope my wheezing and little sniffles and coughs didn't turn you off too badly. But we are improving the visuals. We're getting there. We're going to have maybe an extra camera, more switching, a little bit more dynamic here and there. But we're getting there.
Yeah. Every week it'll probably look different because we're just changing it around and trying to do different things until we find the one.
The one.
The one.
Another point to sort of discuss with you guys is Melissa has been on my case about potentially doing another show on here and sending out 2 episodes a week. But just with me, because she doesn't want the responsibility and she just wants me to do it all.
No, because I think it'll be amazing for you to do it by yourself.
So, if that's something you're interested in, please let us know and maybe give us some ideas for topics, like what sort of things you would like me to cover if I was to do that. If it was, the week that was, what's been going on in the world that previous week, if it was like leftover stories and stuff that we've got from our duo podcast during the week, but just something else to put out there in case you're bored. So that's what we're looking at the moment.
I thought of a name.
What?
Mates with Jakes.
Anyway, we'll be moving on from that.
And what's the other ones that I thought? I thought of 2 more as well. But
a pisser from Melissa. So next week's episode, we have been tossing up a few ideas. What are we going to go with? We've got revenge, potentially. Everyone loves a good revenge story. And the other one is biggest differences from the 80s and 90s to now. Talking about the things that we experienced in our childhood and growing up in our teens that are completely different now, and going through the pros and the cons of growing up in our era and the pros and cons of growing up today. Let us know what you want, please.
What? I thought we were just going to go with revenge.
Well, we're giving them 2 options. We're giving them 2 options. Okay, and Melissa, we had someone reach out to us, ladies and gentlemen. They've got something really positive going. So, Melissa, please let everyone know what's happening.
Yeah, so we just want to give a shout out to an organisation called Backpack for the Firefighter. So, if you're in Australia, you probably know there's big fires happening everywhere, I guess. And apparently the firefighters are very underfunded, which is a fucking joke.
So they're running a massive community donation drop-off in Melbourne. They are accepting unopened food, drinks, and cleaning and hygiene products, first aid clothing, and baby products. You can drop off daily in Birdside Heights, Sunbury, Taylors Hill, Carnley, or Hoppers Crossing.
Yeah, and we'll link there's a Facebook page attached to it with all of the information. So you just have to go in and open the Facebook post. We'll link that in the show notes.
Guys, we can't thank you enough. We have started to expand recently. You might have seen us on Instagram, on Facebook.
We just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
And that's all organic, which is crazy because apparently organic growth is not a thing now.
Is that?
Yeah, so I've just been posting like
all our old clips.
Yeah, not paying any attention to it really. But yeah, and just out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere. It's been a few weeks.
You can also find us on YouTube. We've got the podcast up on YouTube. So please swim around and like our pages if you are so inclined. We greatly appreciate it. And please rate this episode and give us a shout out wherever you can and help us grow because we love doing this for you. And hopefully you get some chuckles out of us.